Greetings and salutations, my dearest friends. My name is Samantha, and today I'm going to be doing a reading vlog for Smutathon. Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome or welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another reading vlog. I can't talk today. I cannot talk today. This intro has taken me so long, and I'm just gonna power through it. Very excited. You guys know I love my steamy books. You know that I love readathons, and I just thought it would be really fun to kind of like film my week. I don't know how much reading we're going to be doing this week, honestly, but let's just have a little bit of fun, okay? So basically, the premise of this readathon is to read romance books, but particularly to read some smutty, some steamy, some wild, some awesome, spicy books. And like, those are just a few of my favorite things. So that's what we're here to do. It is hosted by Riley from Riley Marie and her friend Eleni. If you're not familiar with my channel, usually my reading vlogs are pretty chatty, pretty long. I just take you guys along the week with me. I give you live updates, bookish updates, all the things, all of the things, and that's what we're gonna do today. For the readathon, this is like Halloween inspired, so hopefully I'll get to read some like monster romances. I already did a reading vlog where I read some paranormal romances and monster romances on Kindle Unlimited that I will link down below if you guys are looking for some recommendations. But we're just gonna see what we're gonna read this week. I didn't really set a TBR. TBR stressed me out. Whenever I set a TBR, I just feel like pressure to read all of those books. I know that's insane. I'm definitely just a mood reader, so I kind of like go with the flow, go with what I'm feeling. The group read for the readathon, and I have already read it, and I gave it 5 stars. I think it was a fantastic group read. I want everyone to read this book. It is so popular. Everyone is loving on Catherine Moon recently, which I just love. This is a reverse harem. It features our heroine Esther, who is a maid, and she gets let go from her previous position, but she ends up finding a new manor where she can service monsters. She can have sexual relations, intimate relations with these monsters, and it kind of starts off as like a good steamy time, but as the book progresses, there's a little bit of mystery and you get to learn more about these different types of monsters, and I just adored this book so much. She ends up having relationships with vampires. There's like a golem, like a man made of actual stone, which is super cool. Just like, there's so many things in this book. It is so well written, so unique, and I loved it. 5 stars. Hold up one second. Before I finish the intro, can we talk about the shirt? Can we give a little commotion for the shirt? Okay, let me step back. Can you see this? Is this not the most gorgeous design you have ever feasted your eyes upon? It's really stunning. It truly is. I'm being so dramatic. Anyways, I do really love this design. My friend Desiree created it. She had a little shop where she sold these sweaters, and then she just recently released like some totes and cups, which I will link down below if they're still on sale, because I know it was like for a short time period. If they're still on sale, I will link it down below, because honestly, who doesn't love alien romances? Like a blue sexy man? Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. So funny because I should have vlogged this, but I went to breakfast with my dad. We hadn't really been spending like a ton of time together, and we were both off today, so we decided to go on like a little daddy-daughter breakfast date, and he saw my shirt and he was like, "What is that?" And I told him, "Oh, it's an alien romance," like as if it was common knowledge, and he goes, "What? I didn't even know that was a thing." And I was like, "Dad, it is definitely a thing. There's a whole universe for it, okay? Hello, Ice Planet barbarians." Anyways, moving on. So yeah, I'm just going to read some books this week. I definitely want to read some books on Kindle Unlimited. I know that Jessica Kane recently came out with a Halloween release, which I really want to read. Probably will read some Catherine Moon in this video, because I am reading her entire backlist right now, because I want to do a dedicated video for her books because I enjoy them so much. So probably will read some of her books, and yeah, that's about it. Okay, hi. One thing I forgot to mention is I already did start a book or a series. I was already reading this series like right before the readathon, so I'm just gonna include it here. Like I said, I have been really loving Catherine Moon's books. If you've never read a Catherine Moon book, you're missing out. She writes a ton of reverse harem. They're very steamy, but the world building is always amazing. So I'm reading a series of hers, and it's 3 books in total. The series is called Inheritance of Hunger. This book is called The Princess's Chosen. The second is The Queen's Line, and then the third is The Kingdom's Crown, and they do all correlate, so you have to read them in order. I just finished the 3rd book like 20 minutes ago, And I'm just gonna give like a little spoiler. I gave them all 5 stars. I gave the entire series 5 stars because I am just in awe of Catherine Moon's writing. Like, I cannot get enough of it. I've literally read her entire backlist. I think I'm only missing maybe 1 or 2 books that I haven't read, but I will get to. And I just like am amazed by her writing every single time. But let me talk about this series. So basically it follows our heroine. I believe you pronounce her name Bryony? It's a flower. I don't know. I can't pronounce things, okay? I'm very sorry. She is a princess of this magical kingdom. She is the eldest daughter to the queen, and this line of succession is very interesting. Their entire family has some type of magic, but their magic is controlled by what they call the hunger. And basically, it is a female-run kingdom. Every generation has been a queen, and they are fueled by sexual desires and intimacy. So basically, this hunger is a hunger for men and sex, common practice, and it's almost like an initiation that when they reach a certain age, they collect a harem of men. So this is reverse harem. It does have more than one love interest. If you're not familiar with what reverse harem is, it usually follows one heroine and multiple love interests. It's very different from love triangles because she usually doesn't have to pick just one love interest. She has a relationship with all of them, and sometimes those men will also have a relationship with one another. So it's just like this big polyamorous bundle of fun. Everyone is in a tricky spot because she is convinced that she does not possess this hunger. She has reached the point where she is of age. Her younger sister has already collected her harem of men, and she has not felt any desire for any men that she has met. But there's a lot of pressure on her to continue this tradition, really, because this is supposedly the prophecy states that their desire is what fuels the kingdom and brings it prosperity, and that there's a magic in it that makes the kingdom strong. She's feeling a lot of pressure to continue the tradition because she is afraid that she won't have the crown if she doesn't possess this hunger. So she ends up having like a ceremony where she collects this random assortment of men. They're all so different. That is what I love about this book. It is told in multiple point of views, and you get to follow every single man that's in her harem and also her point of view. And they're just so different in all of their stories and their character arcs, and their growth is just so freaking well written. I think in total she ends up having 7 love interests. I think. Lynn, Cosmo, Theo, Wendell, Eric, Cresswell, Daniel. 7. I think there's 7 of them, which I know sounds like a whole heck of a lot, but I promise you, it is fabulous. And like, once you start reverse harem, you will never want to go back to like a straight romance ever again. Like, I just feel like 2 people has become so boring, and like I'm looking for romances that have like 4, 5, 6, 7 people. Is that just wild of me or what? I don't know. Like, it's just, I think it's because I am such a character driven person, and in reverse harems it is so character driven because there's 7 men, 1 woman, 8 people in this relationship, and the author has to really do a good job of giving each character their own voice, their own story, so that the characters don't blend together and the storyline continues. So the first book is very character driven. If you're someone who likes a lot of plot, I would say that you would probably like the series more towards the end, because the first book is really establishing each character. I'm someone who's like a character driven person, so I adored it. The steamy scenes were fabulous. I enjoyed the way it kind of played out. This book was so well, I just keep saying it's well written because it was like 2 sides of a coin. There was kind of an empowerment aspect to it, that all of these people in power were women, and they were just brimming with magic and like fierceness, and wonderful to see like how strong and independent our heroine was. But in the same token, their power stemmed from their sexuality, and it was also almost like a social commentary on how society over sexualizes women. I just think it was so good. I highly recommend it. I can't decide. I think this is my favorite books that I read from Catherine Moon so far, which I thought was really impossible to beat, because she has another series called The Librarian's Coven, which is another reverse harem series that features witches and magic as well. And I swore that was like the best fucking books I've read this entire year. But I don't know, this series, I might like it a little, just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. But I know I spent a lot of time talking about this series, but it was 3 books in total, and I kind of just wanted to talk about it because that's what I've been reading and obsessing over. I read all 3 books in like 2 days. That's how just obsessed I was with that, and I don't normally do that. I'm not really a fast reader because I get very distracted very easily, so it's very rare that I will binge a whole series in like just 2 days. So I think that's a testament to how addicting and beautiful this book was. So that's that. I just want to read another Catherine Moon book. God damn. I really should branch out. So maybe I'll read the Jessica Cain novella tonight, but I'm gonna go eat dinner and I will talk to you guys in a little bit.
I'll never catch him while I'm this small. Curious butterflies.
You mean bread and butterflies?
Oh, yes, of course. Hmm?
Hello. I went to the bookstore, and you know what? Today was kind of productive. I did what is the noise in the background? Every time I film, I swear, everyone makes the most noise ever. Okay, we're gonna ignore that. Today was a pretty productive-ish day, kind of. I did a live show, went to the bookstore, I washed my makeup brushes. It really wasn't that productive. I'm just trying to make myself feel better. Anyways, I went to the bookstore because they had a 30% off coupon, and the books are already super cheap. They're usually like $2.99 each plus a 30% coupon. I had to go. So I got some stuff. So let me show you what I got. The first one I got is Ashes in the Wind by Kathleen E. Woodiwiss. I just really liked this color. Haven't been the biggest fan of Kathleen's books. I know she's like super popular OG historical romance author, but I'm like desperate to find a book that I really like by her. So let's hope this is a good one. Have I shown you guys my cup? It is honestly so cute. It says Books and Brews, and it has like little books and coffee cups. This isn't coffee. This is matcha, which is passion fruit. So good. But I love this little cup. That cup is from Hello Lovely, by the way. Anyways, back to the book haul. Another one that I got was by Edith Layton. I've never heard of this author before, but it just looked really interesting. It's called A Bride for His Convenience. And it looks like that. I was just really intrigued by the cover, so I picked it up. Next up is an Eloisa James. This is Say Yes to the Duke, and this is part of her Wilds of Lindo Castle series. Look at that gorgeous step back. I haven't really read much from Eloisa James. I know that she's super popular, but I just haven't read much from her, and I love this little purple cover. It's a whole moment, you know? I got another Kathleen E. Woodiwiss book, and this one is The Wolf and the Dove. I've never seen this cover before. Looks like that. I know this one was one of her first published books. Like, what year was this published? 1974. Yeah, definitely. It's not her first book. Or is it her first book? No, I think Flame and the Flower is her first one. So anyways, I really like this cover as well, so I picked it up. Next one is one of my favorite historical romance covers of all time, and I do have it, but it's a long story. So basically, I had the book because I was taking pictures, and I placed it on the kitchen table, and at the time we were doing some like art projects and working with like the Cricut, and somehow like this black sticky residue from the Cricut got on this cover of the book, and it ruined it, and I was devastated. But I found another one. I love this cover. This is Love Cherished Me by Rebecca Brantewine. It reminds me a lot of that like really popular Loretta Chase book, Lord of Scoundrels. It just gives me very similar vibes. It's such like a fall autumnal color, and yeah, I'm so happy that I found another cover because the other one got ruined. Okay, so this next one I got by Catherine Anderson. This is called Phantom Waltz. Honestly, honestly. I picked this up because it said Phantom in it, and I was thinking of Phantom of the Opera. This has nothing to do with Phantom of the Opera, but I was like, oh, Phantom of the Opera, Phantom. I grabbed it. My thought process when I'm buying books is so just, I don't even look at the synopsis half the time. I just look at the cover, which is such a bad habit, but sue me. This next one is by Beatrice Small. This is Unconquered, and I just really love like how big it is. Another Beatrice Small book that's this size. Let me grab it for you because I think it's gorgeous. One second. This one is called The Spitfire, and I don't know, I just think these covers are like so freaking gorgeous. I mean, like this new era of contemporary covers and illustrated covers, it's just like it makes me cling to like these gorgeous covers, and whenever I see them in the bookstore, I can't help but grab them. Got a few cozy mysteries. I got two by Virginia Lowell. I think they're both a part of her Cookie Cutter Shop mystery series. This one is I can't talk today. It's Dead Men Don't Eat Cookies, which looks like that. The little dog right there is so flippin' cute. And then the next one is A Cookie Before Dying. Looks like that. And I read the first book in this series and really, really liked it. So I'm very excited to read some more books in this series. Some historic romance, some cozy mysteries, pretty covers, the whole spiel, the whole deal. Yeah, that's my little haul. I have no book updates. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and I will see you in like a couple seconds in the next video clip. All right. Hello. It's me. Hi. I was gonna start singing for you guys, but the truth is I can't sing to save my life, so I'm not gonna do that. Just got off of work, which is why I'm like in normal people's clothing. Yeah, just got off of work. I have some book updates for you guys. I'm feeling a little weird, a little cranky. I'm on my period, and I've already talked about the fact that I have endometriosis. I've talked about my journey, all of that jazz. And we just know it's not like a great time for me. It's not a great moment, so that's not fun. And then also my wisdom teeth are coming in, the bottom ones. Real fun. So they came in like a month and a half ago, or started to come in like a month and a half ago, but I had just started my new job and I just really couldn't afford to take time off to get them removed. So I went to the dentist and did like x-rays, and they were like, yeah, these two are like really bad, and then you probably need the top two removed as well. But I was like, okay, you know what, just give me some medicine and I'll figure it out later. So now it is like fully, I don't mean to like gross you guys out. I'm not going to show you obviously, but it is fully like split gums raising. This entire side of my mouth is swollen and red and very painful. And it's like giving me, I don't know if like ears and teeth are related, but my ears are hurting, and it's been happening ever since the teeth situation. Okay, nobody cares. The point is that this day has been really, really long. Let's give the book updates, okay? Reading a new book. I completely derailed my TBR. I knew that was gonna fucking happen. I'm a mood reader, and I want to read what I feel in that moment, and I've really been into Omegaverse. Babes, have you heard of Omegaverse? I never had, and it is quite literally rocking my world. So basically, Omegaverse is kind of like an alpha shifter world, but so much cooler. So it's kind of if a alpha like werewolf world was set in like a contemporary setting, and it has three types of people. So you have the alphas, the big dogs, the big zaddies, you know, very like, I don't know what this movement is, but they're basically top of the food chain, super protective, super sexy, whatever. Then you have your betas, who are like regular degular people. Sometimes they're special, most of the times they're not. They're normally just like regular people. And then you have omegas, who are like the complete opposite of alphas. They love to be spoiled. They're just like catnip to alphas, usually like the more submissive of the pair. So usually alphas kind of roam in packs, and they're looking for an omega to mate with and to bite and mark and kind of bring into their pack. But the thing okay, so there's really no rules to Omegaverse. That's the fun thing, is like it really can just be like this huge universe, and authors can have a lot of like play with it, I guess, because I've seen like sweet omega verses, I've seen dark omega verses, I've also seen like mpreg where men can get pregnant. I've seen all the things. Okay, I haven't read all the things, but I want to. And in most of these universes, they do not shift into like werewolves or second natured beings. They really just have like animalistic tendencies and like mating urges. They want to like bond their mate, mark their mate. It's more like a fated mates trope. And then like, you know, alphas have like whole nodding thing during sexy time, which I mean, honestly, I feel like you just have to research yourself because it's a wild time and I really don't want this video to get flagged. I mean, it is Smutathon, right? I don't know. Basically, I'm just gonna go for it, okay? Alphas have this thing on their genitals, okay? Gosh, I hope my family is not watching this video. And it's basically like something that knots into their omega that like locks them together, which sounds very painful, but it's like very sexy in the book, okay? So basically, like, the point is to like mark them and mate them and impregnate them and breed them, you know, like very animalistic tendencies, and it's just really fun. It's just really fun. I feel like I'm explaining that horribly, but I promise it's a fun time. Any hoozles. Picked up the Rockstar's Omega. It's a rockstar romance. So our heroine is obsessed with this lead singer to a rockstar band, and she even writes like fan fiction and like draws him like fan art, and she's just like a huge fan. She ends up working for this charity company, and the prize is whoever like gets the most money gets backstage passes to see this band, and of course it's her favorite band, so she raises the most money and she goes to meet him, and he is a total and complete asshole. He's an asshole. He is not at all what she thought he was gonna be, and he is such a jerk. Like, let me tell you, if you do not like very like alpha, he's literally an alpha. So if you don't like alpha heroes, babe, this is just not for you. And it's one of those books that I'm like, yes, he's such a jerk, but I also love him. I love him so much. So basically, he is trying to keep the fact that he's an alpha a secret because his life is already so crazy, and he already has like paparazzi always after him, so he doesn't want people to know he's an alpha because then people are going to want to like be his mate and be a part of his pack. So he's really trying to keep that part of his life secret. So when he sees our heroine and realizes that she's an omega, he thinks it's a trap. She has no intention of like trapping him or anything, but they immediately have a connection and are drawn to each other's scent, and very insta-lust kind of fall into a mating bond. And that's kind of the story, and I really like it, but I feel like if you don't like aggressive alpha heroes, then like you're not gonna like this, because he really is a jerk in the beginning, and like in real life I would not be attracted to that, but because it's a book, I'm just like, yes. You know what though? I feel like I should make this a whole video on my thoughts on this. So my friend on Instagram, I was talking about how I should really make a whole video on this, but I'm going to quickly just give my thoughts on a topic really quickly. Okay, here we go. I was talking on Instagram about fated mates, and someone mentioned that they're not a fan of fated mates or like the Ice Planet Barbarian series or other series they gave as examples, because they feel like it takes away the choice and the idea of consent in a relationship. And I swear to God, that literally blew my mind. I'm obsessed with the fated mates trope. It's one of my favorite tropes ever. And I'm not someone who has a lot of trigger warnings, but I tend to stay away from books that have dubious consent. And this book really doesn't have any dubious consent, but I just wanted to like talk to you guys, like a little bit of a book talk, because she basically said that she's not a fan of fated mates because it kind of feels like it takes away the choice. So the example that she gave was Ice Planet Barbarians, and please don't come for me. I know so many people love the series. That's amazing. Love it. You do you. I've only read the first and second book and I didn't like it, but we're just gonna move on from that, and don't hate me, okay? Don't hate me. But basically she was saying, like, as an example, the humans really have no choice but to take this like parasite, the Kui, whatever the fuck it's called. They have no choice but to take it or they die. Like, they do not survive on this planet. So they have to find a mate and they have to kind of like force this mating bond. Obviously, the world is much deeper than that, and you realize that the mating bonds are really people who love each other and it's not forced. But it just, when it comes to fated mates, it does feel kind of weird that they're almost like forced to be together because of a mating bond or whatever it is you have it. And in this book, I'm gonna give like a small trigger warning because our heroine ends up going in heat during this time. Omegas go in heat where they definitely like crave alphas and sexual intimacy, and they want someone to mark them, and they have a tendency to ask to be bitten and ask for mating bites without, they're really being controlled by their hormones is really what it is. So our heroine goes into heats and they kind of fall into this mating rut where they bond, and they sleep with each other for like 4 consecutive days. And after that is done, she comes out of the heat and she does not remember parts of what had happened. And neither of them really wanted to be bonded together. They were only bonded together because of the animalistic tendencies and their mating heat. A fan of the fated mates trope, so I never thought of like the idea of this mating bond or this universe pulling them together as a lack of consent, because it doesn't really feel like they're forced together, but then also it kind of is forced together. Like, what do you guys think about that? I think that's such an interesting topic and my mind is blown. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, if you're a werewolf and you have like a destined mate, are you making that choice for that person to be your mate, or is the universe making the choice for you? Is the universe making a choice for all of us? Are we just like puppets on a string? It's a whole conversation. I don't even know where I'm going with this. Anyways, the point is I'm reading this book, okay? And I'm liking it, but I don't know if this book is for everyone, is my point. Is it steamy? Yes, very, and it's wonderful. Omegaverse, if you're a fan of it, I think you'll be a fan of this. If you don't like alpha possessive heroes, you'll just hate it. Like, there's really no other point to that. Okay, awesome, cool, great. I'm gonna finish this book and go eat dinner. Greetings, greetings, greetings. It's the end of the video. I was really bad at updating you guys. I don't like the way this is buttoned. Very bad at updating you guys. I'm sorry about that. Tomorrow is Halloween, and I'm just gonna end the video here. I mean, I've read 4 books, and I think that's fine. I know this was like a little bit of a boring reading vlog because I've only checked in a couple times. I did go to the bookstore. That was kind of exciting, right? Just trying to make myself feel better. Anyways, I finished the Rockstars Omega and Zam. This book went downhill a little bit. It really did. So, I'm gonna give it 3 stars. It wasn't the worst book I've ever read, but it definitely wasn't my favorite. I liked it more in the beginning because I just really like the whole setup I can't talk today. I really like the setup of Omegaverse. Like, I really like the vibe, alpha, omega, beta. Like, it's just a really fun like reading experience. I don't necessarily think that this book was the best, but I liked the concepts. I don't know how to explain it. The author's writing was just so weird. Like, I feel like she switched writing styles, like 3rd person and 1st person kept like interchangingly going through the story, and I could never tell whose point of view I was in. It was just weird. It was a weird writing style. And also our hero was he was an asshole. He really was, and he never really like redeemed himself. There was never a point in the book where I felt like the characters were in love outside of their mating bond. I feel like everything that brought them together was like this mating bond, this kind of like animalistic instincts or like sexual tension, but it wasn't anything like that would sustain a relationship, if that makes sense. Like, they had 0 communication the entire book. The entire book they had 0 communication. And then the only time they were kind of sweet to each other was when they were literally having sex, but like immediately after they were intimate with each other, they would go back to like denying their feelings and being super weird and like rude, kind of. Like, they would constantly put each other down, but then they were also in love with each other. It didn't make a lot of sense. And like, everyone around them was like, oh my god, you guys are so perfect for each other. It's obvious how much you guys love each other. And I'm like, is it though? is it? Because like they never were nice to each other. It was weird, but I also liked it. I don't know what that says about me. I think I liked it because I like Omegaverse. I really do. I like Omegaverse. I liked the idea of like a rock star romance, and she wrote fan fiction, and like she had like her very own Wattpad moment. Like this read very Wattpad to me, you know, a fan fiction artist being the fated mate to like her favorite rock star band. Just very Wattpad to me. You know what I mean? But that's bad. I like Wattpad. I read Wattpad back in the day, all the time. But that's just how it read to me. I think if the writing style was a little bit different, maybe I would like it. And maybe if there was just a little bit more romance. It was very character driven. There was no plot. There was like no reason why they shouldn't be together. So it made no sense to me why they were always arguing. Like there was no reason for them not to be together. So I didn't understand the conflict. And I think that's why I didn't like it. They basically spent the entire freaking movie in a hotel movie. It's not a movie. They spent the entire book in a hotel room. The entire book. I feel like my thoughts are all jumbled. I gave it 3 stars. One of my biggest pet peeves, one thing I didn't like, and it's my own fault, is that this band is called The Pack. And she's an Omega, and for some reason I thought that she was going to bond with all of the alphas in this pack. No, she only bonds with one, and he's a super jerk. And I don't know why, I just wanted it to be reverse harem so bad, because that's what I'm liking right now. And it's like they're literally called the Pack, and they're not an actual pack. Like, that's so fucking dumb. There is a second and third book, and I think it follows like the other members in the band, but I'm just not interested enough to read about it. They were really like heavy talking and leading into the second book in this first one. Like they kept dropping hints and talking about side characters, but I'm not gonna read it. Wrapping it up, that was the last book I read. Gave it 3 stars. I also read the entire Catherine Moon series. I think it's like the Queen's Inheritance series, the Queen's Hunger series. I'll put it right here. I read 3 books. I gave the first book 5 stars. I gave the second book 5 stars. And I gave the third book 5 stars. Okay, 5 stars all around. It was an amazing, amazing series. I highly recommend it. It was reverse harem, which is just my vibe right now. And yeah. I had fun participating in Smutathon, even though I really didn't vlog that much. I hope you guys don't mind. If you guys enjoyed this video, as always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. It means the world to me. I hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy, and I'll see you next time.